It's great to be the king. Fish. Nice sweet, eh, Matt? Nice Georgian Bay smallmouth. It's a giant! Yes!
Right behind you, right behind you. Swim bait. Yes. Yes! Need to Fish, brought to you by Suzuki Motors, available at Marsh's Marina.
Welcome to another episode of Need to Fish. We're here in Wabashine again at Marsh's Marina. Got my life jacket on. We're just waiting for Matt to get down to the boat. We're going to take off, probably fish Georgian Bay, a little bit of middle ground, and then maybe head up in the Honey Harbor area and do some bass, probably get some pike today, maybe do a little walleye fishing. But it's a beautiful day on Georgian Bay, unlike some of the days we've had out here, snow, rain, as you've seen in some of the other episodes. But I'm stoked about it. I walked out of the house this morning and I smelt fish in the air, so it's going to be a good day. So let's get out there on the lake and catch some fish. We are on middle ground just off of Robbins Point in the thriving metropolis of Victoria Harbour, Ontario. Pitching a chartreuse and white spinnerbait because it's a pretty good bet at this time of year. Got some Senkos and some tubes tied on just in case the fish are following the spinnerbait and not picking it up, but haven't seen anything yet. Water's pretty clear. We're fishing in, I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 2 feet of water right now. Water temperatures changed a little bit. We've had, last night it was 7, night before it was 9. So every day that you drive by the lake and there's fog on the lake means that the cold air is sucking the hot air out of the lake. So,
well, we're throwing a 3-inch bass magnet shifter shad, a little swim bait on the back of an 1/8 ounce football head, and slow rolling it over these flats. So much like Brian's spinnerbait, same idea, just a little less bright, a little more subtle.
I gotta say the fall for me is probably the best time because I like the multi-species fish. You know, the bass start to turn right on and feed up for the winter. The walleye start to, you know, the walleye fishing drags on in the middle of November into December if we've still got opportunities to get out ramps and there's no ice. Muskie fishing's phenomenal right up till ice in. So it's a good time of year. It's comfortable to fish. I mean, we're in shorts and t-shirts today, but you know, if you have to put a sweatshirt on and a pair of jeans, not such a bad thing either.
I've become a humongous fan of this early season smallmouth fishing on Erie, launching out of Buffalo. You can go out there and catch 30, 40, 50 fish in a few hours. It's an absolutely outstanding fishery that time of year. And why not take advantage of that when you live so close to it and you can't fish up here? Go to where you're allowed to.
So we're fishing at about 3 feet of water and Matt just seen a giant. Follow you up, Matt?
Yeah.
Or?
Oh. They took the finesse worm and ran. Cast over there, Brian.
Well, that's a good sign. This is a pretty popular spot with the local bass tournament anglers, and you don't want to commit. Oh, Matt, look at that big swirl right there, right off that rock. So this spot gets what we call pounded pretty hard during the season, but a lot of guys don't fish back this far. I like to fish back this far. The gravel, the crayfish move up onto this flat. Oh, there he is right there, Matt.
Where was?
Okay.
That's all right, smallmouth. Where there's one, there's more.
What's that?
Said it's smallmouth. Where there's one, there's more.
The great thing about this time of year is I got polarized glasses on. Matt's wearing polarized glasses. You can see into the water 5, 6, 10 feet. I mean, we're only fishing in 2 or 3 feet of water, so you can really see the fish. A lot of times at this time of day they're cruising for food, so they've moved out of some deeper water, so they're still black. A lot of times they get up on these shallow rock flats or sandbars, they start to chameleonize themselves and they start to get lighter, so they're a little harder to see, but it's nice when they just move up and you can see them like stick out like a sore thumb. It's even funnier, there's one string of weeds and the fish is holding on the weed trying to hide for better sake of a argument. So a lot of times in these flats, like I was throwing a spinner bait and Matty was throwing a faster moving bait, a lot of times the fish will follow up. Not that that fish did, Matt spotted that fish, but a lot of times the fish will follow up, and then you can toss a 4 or 5 inch Senko, weightless Senko in behind it and just let it do its natural walk to the bottom, and a lot of times the fish will come over and pick it up. It's a great day to be sight fishing. So I'm throwing a Senko. It's a 5 inch Senko, right? Green pumpkin, purple flake. When it's this calm, you can do a lot of line watching. Cast your line out. Your line will sit on, I'm using 6-pound braid. The line will sit on the top of the water, and a lot of times if the fish comes up and picks up the bait when you got slack line, the line will start to move aggressively through the water. Good indication that you got a fish on.
That's why a lot of us now are going to this lime green and orange and pink line. It's just easier to see in the water. You always put your fluorocarbon leader on the end of it, so it doesn't really matter what color your line is. It just makes it easier for us to see.
Well, some people put fluorocarbon leader on. I don't use one. As soon as somebody can convince me that the fish can tell between a blade of grass and green Power Pro fishing line, I'll start using a fluorocarbon leader. I mean, I've always had tremendous luck here fishing this shallow in here. The fish will move in here off the deep, just out where we come down the channel. That channel's 18, 20 foot of water. The fish will go out there and, you know, if they need to move off, the front's coming, they're just looking at getting away from the pressure, they'll move off into that deeper water. Then they'll come back up in here and eat. You can see right in the water, you can see the gobies and the sculpins and the crayfish scurrying around. I gotta say, Matt, I'm a little concerned about all the broken eelgrass already this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe the heat's caused that, but usually I don't, you know, when it starts to die off, it's usually one of the first weeds to die off for the, you know, for winter.
Well, in all my Great Lakes fishing experience, eelgrass is a pretty predominant pattern when it comes to September.
Yeah.
So it's normally around to the 3rd or sometimes even the 4th weekend.
Yeah.
So here's just another curveball that 2016 is throwing at us.
Yeah, exactly. Right, you're trying to throw topwater. It's a flat day. Generally, anybody would pick up a topwater and start chucking one. It's hard to throw it in this because you're always picking up the grass, and it affects the way the bait walks in the water.
I do have the tournament cull scale in the boat, so maybe we could keep track of our best 5.
Well, okay, but can we concentrate on catching one right now?
Yeah, I like catching one.
So as we're blabbing along here, me and Matt just rolled up on about 2-pound bass. Matt threw his little bass magnet swim jig out there, and a fish come right up on it, but did not take it. We had a little change in boats today. Guys at Marshes were kind enough to lend us a smoker craft with a 90 Suzuki on it, and I gotta say, when we come out of the Wabashing Channel there, man, it's a nice boat, rides nice, it's nice and wide. And very stable platform to fish. See one there, big guy?
Yeah. The little guy, pound and 3/4. A monster.
Giant! I know it's not big, but it's still a fish. Nice little smallmouth.
13 inches?
No, not even close.
Oh boy.
8 or 9. Matt called it though. I cast my Senko out and he said he seen a fish come up on my Senko, and sure enough, he was there. So, but fish number 1.
The part that starts to have vegetation on it, first cast into it, Brian hooks on a fish.
I lost my Senko on it. Unfortunately, when you're using Senkos, you go through, if the fish are biting, you know, could go through 50 or 60 fish in a day, or Senkos in a day, just because they get up and start, especially smallmouth, they start doing a little tail walk and showing themselves, and usually when they're shaking their head, that piece of plastic. Good thing about those Senkos though is they're pretty much all salt, so they will dissolve in the water. It doesn't pollute the water.
Just keep your Senko there.
I got him.
Oh.
Big largie, eh?
Yeah, largemouth.
So there I am talking about I've never caught a largemouth on this flat, and sure enough. Any fish with it, Matt?
Nope, nothing. He nailed it.
I'm gonna show you. Matt, check this fish out. Missing half of his lip.
Wow. Well, I guess that's the importance of using non-piercing cull tags, right, Brian?
Exactly. Nice fish. You say it, 2-0.
It's all fun.
So I just caught that largemouth and took the hook, and he'll shake that hook no problem. But I mean, as you can see around the boat, Matt's got 8 or 10 rods. I brought 8 or 10 rods with me. But we've caught 2 fish in the last 10 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good to have rods. So I was able to pick up another rod that's already got that Senko, same color that I like to use, already tied on. So I picked the rod up, and you know, I'm fishing in 2 seconds. You know, it's nice to have a lot of times you get into a mess of them, right? Even if they're throwing your Senkos off the hooks, then at least you can pick up a rod and keep fishing.
If you can save yourself the time in retying and whatnot, when you have fish biting, get line back out there as soon as you can. A lot of times we just have a one rod always out in beside the passenger seat that has a weedless wacky Senko on it. Whenever one of us go to retie, we just cast it out and leave the rod there. So we always have those 2 rods in the water.
Oh, it's not huge, but again, another feisty though. Holy crap.
And what did I say? Let's move out to the weeds and there'll be a couple fish.
Yeah. And it's a smallie, not a largie, you would think. We don't have anything to do with this boat, man. Still got my Senko on my... I'm sure I'll jinx that though. Oh, it's a brown fish.
That's one of the days so far.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Yep, and it's gone. We call that a long distance live release. So, as you can see, no net today. So we're gonna try to manhandle some fish into the boat, and that's always the product of it. A lot of times they get off, but nice fish, about 2 pounds. Just come out into some weeds. Matt sighted a couple of fish, and I was able to catch one. 3, nothing. Copper flake, purple flake, color we call green pumpkin. Got a Texas ridge. Matt's throwing his wacky style. He may want to take a hint or two. May want to switch off and try it. But it's great to be the king. Okay, so we left Middle Ground Wabashine area. We are now in a spot that me and Matt are familiar with. Last time we were here, it was snowing. So one of our first episodes here at Need to Fish. We were fishing this bay May 1st, opening weekend of pike and walleye. Did fairly well in this bay, but we're back here today. The sun's shining. It's about 75 degrees. It's nice and flat. As you can see, there's no snow. So we're gonna, I'm just throwing this spinner bait. Maybe I can catch one of those pike we caught in the spring, but there's a spot up here that I normally fish in the fall there, and big largies move out of this bay into this pencil right here, and let's see if we can catch us a couple of big largies off this pencil reed flat up here. So why put a trailer on a jig, on a flipping jig?
Well, it does a couple things. I like to have multiple colors on the presentation. So here I'm throwing a green jig and we've tipped it off with a black chunk. So I like to keep it natural colors. Nothing overly fancy about it at all. Just catches fish.
So does putting a trailer on that slows the bait down a little bit?
Yeah, adds some bulk, gives it characteristics to match what they would be eating. So you have a single tail on it, look like a minnow or something swimming, mine maybe a crayfish. Amazing how the cover changes in the fishing, almost the exact same stuff we were fishing in May. Completely different species of fish, completely different water temperature.
Yeah, a lot of times you get into these spots and there's 2 or 3 fish in here and
they compete.
You watch the reeds shake. You can hear them. No luck here, so maybe we'll scoot into Picnic Island and grab a cold drink and rejuvenate and get back out there. I'm going to show Matt a spot off of Quarry Island I usually do very, very well at for smallmouth and largemouth. So hopefully there's some fish there and we can catch some more fish there.
Can't see how big it is yet. It sounded pretty good. Yeah, it's a big fish.
Come right off the edge of that rock weed. There you go. So, maybe I'll know all the fish are gone off this spot. Nice, largo.
Nice,
Good
healthy
shape.
looking fish.
Yeah, so 2.5. He wanted that though, Matt. He come right off the edge and just crushed it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pike.
Fish? Look at Brian. That, but look how fat he is.
Eating.
He's eating.
For sure.
Well, let's hope that's not the biggest one we get today.
Well, at least you're on the board today, buddy.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh. Gar pike.
It's a big gar.
Big gar. Incidentally, I've got a sneaking suspicion I know why we weren't catching fish this morning. Somebody had a banana with them.
Hey, I'm Ellie Smith. I'm the producer of Need to Fish, and I was out all summer long with Matt and Brian on the waters of Georgian Bay, and apparently these guys are really superstitious.
Not cool, not ever cool. Bringing a banana in a boat when people are fishing, but.
What's Brian's problem? He's clearly overreacting. All I wanted to do was pack my bag with a nice, light, healthy midday snack.
Live and learn. I'm sure it'll never happen again. Ever happen again.
Obviously, someone has made a horrible mistake at this point. Now, obviously, I'm not going to take responsibility for it because I still have no idea what Brian's talking about.
Not cool, not ever cool. Bringing a banana in a boat when people are fishing.
Bri, I heard you the first time, man. Just let that reel roll. Just chill it out, man. All right, now for those who are just as confused as I was about why bananas are bad luck on board a boat, let me take you through it. I did a little producer research for you, and this is what I found out. We're taking it back 1700s. Boats traveling with bananas on board to their destination. They have to travel really fast or the bananas will rot. Fishermen on the side of those boats trying to catch fish, they can't. The boats are moving way too fast, therefore not catching any fish. Bad luck to have bananas on board a boat.
I'm sure it'll never happen again. Ever happen again.
Oh, actually, there was one other thing I came across while doing my research. Brian, care to explain? Wait, Matt? Guys? Now that is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Don't mess with the producer. Cut.
That is a tank, man. Nice fish. Thus I rest my case on the banana.
Oh, not hooked. Not hooked very well. I wouldn't grab the line. Yeah, buddy.
Go. Nice fish. And not hooked very well at all, brother. Well, maybe not so bad. There you go. Go. Nice smallmouth. 2 pounder.
Look at the growth on the inside of it. Thank you, Brian. A little bit of a growth at the bottom of her neck. It's okay, still a healthy fish. You can tell, these Georgian Bay smallmouth, just before they start to get big, they pack the punch on the back of the tail there. Yeah. Nice fish. Normally we'd say good thing we got the skunk out of the boat, but
Good thing we got the banana out of the boat. That fish pick it right up, or just subtle, or?
Just line started going a different direction from what I was reeling. You load up, and that circle hook gets them in the side of the mouth every time. Fish.
Well, I gotta say they're definitely feisty, today. Surprised that we're fishing on this rock shoal and they start to congregate out here at this time of year, that we haven't seen the infamous 8, 9 fish following the fish, right?
Well, maybe it's still just a little warm enough. Well, you can even see the finesse worm in his mouth still. Look how white he is on the bottom.
Yeah. White beard. Like to see those come up after your bait when you're trekking her across the surface.
Yep. Let's grab our pliers here. He's hooked nicely right in the roof of the mouth. There we go, another one, 2 in a row. Exact same size as the other one, so they're probably grouping up by size right here now.
Yeah, maybe,
Right back down to the bottom.
So we're at stop number 6 on the tour today, heading back towards Wabashine. We're just out off of Green and Canary Island on a spot called Hillbank. Just a succession of shoals that's about 3 miles long. Wind's blowing from the west to the east, and we're just going to blow down this shoreline and see if we can't get some smallmouth. I've caught big walleyes out here. I've caught big pike out here. The odd muskie late in the fall. Whoa. Supposed to push the button, I think, before you cast.
You know what? And that's the idea. It's such a big body of water. Where the fish are situated on it, we don't know right away. So we have to come over it and fish fast and locate those fish before. There's one. Oh, no.
So, just had a hit, lost my trailer hook and my chartreuse blade off my chartreuse and white spinnerbait. That sucks, but I have a whole bag full of them there. Now put another one on, retie. I hope my dentist didn't see that. Always lube up your line, monofilament. Pull down on that, it gets pretty hot when you pull down on it, so it doesn't burn the copolymer coating off the line and exposes the line, so you're more susceptible to zebra mussels and rocks and weeds. And a giant, oh yeah! So we're just starting to wrap up the episode, and Matt glops into about a 3.5, 4 pound smallie, beautiful fish, doing a little acrobatic jumping here. Nice fish, Matt. Oh, beauty. Beauty, beauty. Lose it, don't lose it, don't lose it, don't lose it.
And it's gone. It's all right, touched it twice. That's funny.
Well, that's about the 3rd fish that's happened today, and that kind of sums up our day. Banana in the boat. We've lost 2 or 3 fish because I didn't bring a net, but it's a great day on Georgian Bay. This was stop 7, 1 fish, probably the biggest fish of the day. It's great. great to have you all here. See you next time on Need to Fish.